If I told you there are things that once touched the body of Jesus,
Not just legends, but real places, physical objects kept, studied, and debated for centuries.
From the face that changed history to the crown of suffering. Stairs, nails, tunics, and the tomb itself. But a warning, this isn't about forcing you to believe. It's where faith meets history and science. In Christianity, relics aren't just artifacts. They are living memories.
And let's be honest, not every relic has a clear history. Some are messy.
So for each object, we ask, what is it? What's the tradition? And what does science say?
Ready? Let's start at the heart, Jerusalem.
Number 1, the Holy Sepulchre, the site of the death, burial, and resurrection, recognized since the 4th century. The heart of the building is the edicule.
It encloses the tomb itself, destroyed and rebuilt with the current structure from 1810.
What did Jesus touch here? Literally, the stone. The place where his body was laid. The contact point of the resurrection.
Science debates the exact spot, but conservation work has confirmed ancient limestone foundations dating back to the Roman era. Britannica confirms it's the oldest continuously recognized site. The history here is unbroken.
But if the tomb is where he left, there is a stone nearby where he arrived. The stone of anointing, right at the entrance.
Tradition says this is where his body was laid for preparation, where the oils touched his skin.
Pilgrims today pour oil and wipe it up, taking the scent of Jesus home.
It's a place of tears, of final farewells.
The catch? Historical records only mention this tradition starting in the Crusader period, 12th century.
And this specific slab? It was placed here in 1810. It's not the original rock from 2,000 years ago.
But does that matter? It serves as a focal point for grief and love.
From a stone, we move to a cloth. The most famous cloth in history.
Object number 3, the Shroud of Turin.
It is the most studied artifact in human history. A faint, sepia image of a man.
Forensic pathologists see scourging marks, Roman flagrum wounds, exact anatomical precision.
The nail wound is in the wrist, not the palm, a detail unknown to medieval artists, but anatomically correct for crucifixion.
1898. Photographer Secondo Pia takes the first photo and discovers something terrifying.
The shroud itself is a negative. When inverted, a real face emerges. It forces the world to ask, if this is a medieval painting, how did they paint a photographic negative 500 years before photography?
But in 1988, science fought back. Carbon-14 dating placed the cloth between 1260 and 1390.
The verdict, a medieval fake. Case closed?
not quite.
Critics argue the sample was contaminated. The cloth survived a fire in 1532, was patched and handled by thousands.
Did they date the original cloth? Or a medieval repair patch?
And there's the 3D data. A painting has no depth. The shroud contains 3D distance information.
The latest theory? A burst of radiation. A split-second event that scorched the image onto the fibers.
Forgery or photograph of the resurrection?
It remains a mystery. But if the shroud is the long film, there is a snapshot. The Sudarium of Oviedo.
No face, no image, just blood. Tradition says this cloth covered his head while still on the cross. Unlike the shroud, its history is clear. It traveled from Jerusalem to Spain to escape the Persian invasion in 614 AD. Here is where it gets chills. When you overlay the Sudarium stains onto the shroud, they match.
Same blood type, AB. Same pollen grains from Jerusalem thorns. Jewish custom required covering the face of the dead immediately. This was the first cloth.
It has been in Spain since the 8th century.
From the cloths of death, we move to the instruments of pain, and a relic saved from fire.
April 2019. The world watched Notre-Dame burn. But one treasure was pulled from the ashes first.
The Crown of Thorns!
Safe today. But looking at it, you don't see gold. You see pain.
A bundle of rushes and thorns. Not a symbolic circle, but a helmet of torture.
Mockery turned into agony. A coronation of blood.
And from the crown comes the nail.
The Holy Nail. Or rather, the Holy Nails.
There are over 30 nails in Europe alone claiming to be from the cross. History is complicated. Many are likely contact relics, nails that touch the original or contain filings of it.
For the faithful, the authenticity matters less than the memory. It is the nail that held love in place.
Which brings us to the wood itself. The true cross.
326 AD, Saint Helena excavates Jerusalem and finds 3 crosses. Tradition says a miracle revealed the right one. Over centuries, the cross was broken into splinters and scattered to every corner of Christendom. Skeptics like Erasmus and Calvin joked there was enough wood to build a ship, though modern calculations suggest otherwise.
Most are tiny splinters, like the one at Notre-Dame, venerated as the wood of the Passion.
Authentic or not, it reminds us of the weight, the splintered shoulder, the walk of death.
If he touched it with his sweat and blood.
The holy tunic of Argenteuil, the seamless garment worn on the way to the cross.
The Gospel says it was seamless, woven from top to bottom, a masterpiece of ancient textile.
It was too valuable to tear, so the soldiers cast lots for it. Science disagrees. Carbon dating says 6th century. Weave analysis says Middle Eastern. Yet, the blood type matches the shroud, and the stains align with the shoulder wounds of carrying a cross.
Authentic or not, millions have stood before it, seeking a connection to the man who wore it.
kept in Rome's Santa Maria Maggiore, the Holy Crib.
5 pieces of sycamore wood. Tradition says they are from the manger where Christ was born. Sycamore wood from Palestine. Radiocarbon dating is inconclusive, but the wood type is correct.
This relic didn't touch death. It touched new life. It touched the beginning.
A place of animals, straw, and a young mother. Far from the palaces of Rome.
It reminds us that God entered history not as a warrior, but as a vulnerable child.
From the wood of the crib to the wood of the cross. The circle of life.
For the pilgrim, this wood brings a different feeling. Not awe, but comfort.
Finally, we must climb.
The Scala Sancta, the Holy Stairs, 28 steps of Tyrian marble.
You don't walk these stairs. You kneel. A tradition of penance for centuries.
Through small glass windows, you can see stains on the marble, believed to be drops of his blood.
Imagine the sound. Chains dragging on marble. The footsteps of a man walking to his death. At the bottom, a crowd screaming, "Crucify him." At the top, a governor washing his hands.
It hurts. It takes time. It forces you to slow down in a fast world.
You can argue about the geology of the marble, but you cannot argue with this sight.
At the top lies the Sancta Sanctorum.
10 objects. 2,000 years. One story.
Some are about his life, the wood of the manger, the steps of the trial.
Some are about his pain, the thorns, the nails, the true cross.
Some are silent mysteries, the shroud and the sudarium, defying explanation, is defined by what is not there, the empty tomb.
Science can date the wood. History can trace the path. But they hit a wall. Because these objects aren't just data points. They are bridges.
What is faith? It's the desire to reach across time.
To touch something. Hans that touched him.
It's not about proving God exists. It's about feeling that he was real, that he was here.
And that he understands our pain, our birth, and our death.
10 objects, but only one faith. Because the past is never really dead. It's just waiting to be touched.
Tell me in the comments below. I read every story.
And if you want more journeys into history and mystery, hit that subscribe button.